Hey everyone, my name is Jared Sandler with Longhorn Investments, and I'm really excited to be joined today by my friend and Longhorn Investments borrower, Jimmy Egbon.
Yeah, hey, I'm Jimmy Egbon. Love Longhorn. We are done. We are down 12 deals with Longhorn, and many more this next year.
That's right. I love to hear that.
Yeah.
All right. So, what got you into real estate investing?
I own a car dealership, and I just wanted something else to try to help with, generational wealth and just long-term money.
I met you through your sister, Deba.
Right, Deba.
How much of an influence did she have in you kind of getting your toes wet with this?
Big influence, because she was in education, and she called me one day and said, "Hey, I'm just not feeling this anymore, and I want to do something else." And she got into real estate, and she introduced me to you, and it's been up ever since. And yeah,
we love Deba. We love you.
Right.
What was Deba like growing up as a sister? Was she really bossy?
She was bossy. She was tough.
Yeah. She's strong. She's a strong woman.
Yeah, she was tough. And she's 4 years older than me, and she was always tough on me. She was always, but I mean, now I love it, and it helped me out a lot. I mean, she's still tough on me today. She's still tough on me today.
You're still the little brother?
Yeah, I'm still the little brother.
Who's a better athlete?
She definitely is.
She's definitely, okay.
She's fast.
Yeah, she is, right?
Yeah.
All right, so a lot of your approach is, if I get a great offer on a deal, then I'll sell it. Otherwise, add it to the rental portfolio, right? So can you explain a little bit about your thought process with that and how you approach deals you pursue in terms of the exit strategy?
Okay, so our go-to exit strategy is to buy, fix up, and hold forever. That's how it goes. But sometimes deals just don't go as planned, but we like them as cheap as we can get. And I mean, we have a good team of contractors that we have, so very rough, that a lot of people run away from. We love them. And we just like to be at a certain price range where once we refi, we're still cash flowing.
How have you learned over the years to assess whether or not a property on the market or off market is a viable pursuit from an investment standpoint?
So I learned it from my sister. I mean, we're going to look at the ARV like always. And I always like to be I put my numbers a little bit lower than what I expect. So if I text Deba a deal and she tells me the ARV is going to be 280, I go 260 just in case that appraisal doesn't come back right. And that's and we normally buy 90% of our properties are in the same zip codes. Mm-hmm. So we kind of know what it's going to hit for, and we kind of know what the rental rate is, so we don't have any surprises.
Yeah, the Garland area has been very, that's been very good to you guys.
Yeah.
All right, I want to talk about Longhorn quickly. Then I want to get back to your experiences, just separate of Longhorn.
Got you.
What do you remember about the beginning stages of learning about hard money and what we do at Longhorn?
So in the beginning, I used to buy houses cash. And Deba would always tell me, "Hey, Jimmy, you're tripping. You need to get with this hard money. You need to talk to Jared." And so I texted you. I sent you all my info, bank statements, everything, and everything was approved. And I kind of felt like it was unreal how easy it was to use the money and get money to rehab the home, and then refi it and just give your money back. And sometimes I would make money off of the deal because the deal was so good,
Mm-hmm.
And it just felt just felt unreal. And I explained to some of my buddies that are now dealing with you guys, and I say, "Man, this is unreal. It's a game changer."
We get that a lot. I can tell sometimes when I'm talking to someone or the look on their face that they feel like, "Well, what's the catch?
Yeah.
Where's the catch?" Now, a lot of people are conditioned to think of interest rates through the prism of a conventional loan, and a conventional loan is going to be lower interest, but they're not going to lend as much.
Right.
What would you say to someone who says, "But Jimmy, these interest rates, I don't know if I like that"?
And I tell them, I mean, you have 6 months it's just 6 months, And if you can get this done and get it moving and do everything in 6 months, I mean, who's going to loan you Would you rather write a check for 200 grand for this house, or just pay somebody to let you borrow this money for a couple months? And the faster you go, the faster you're out. Yeah. You know, I mean, now I'm getting to the point where I'm doing these houses in less than a month. Yeah. You know, so the faster you go, the faster you're out.
And I guess on that note, having a contractor you can trust plays a big role in that, the speed, right?
Big time. You got to have your team. You got to have a realtor you can trust that knows how to send these offers on these wholesale properties. You got to have a good contractors list that can help you out, that isn't going to give you. You got to have some plumbers that isn't going to give you these crazy outrageous prices. Our title company, we have the title company that we use that knows how to get some of these homes that we buy. They've been passed down. So these title companies have to know how to get it situated.
And you know, with the interest thing, with the time, right? That month, 2 months. I mean, that saves you money,
right?
But I think the thing that people don't realize is that, all right, so we're at 12.99. You're not. You're at 10.99. Right. You're a part of our loyalty program, right, which we'll get into. But
right.
All right, we're 12.99, and let's just say a competitor's at 10.99, and you're in the deal for 4 months. I mean, we're talking maybe depending on the size of the deal, a couple $1,000, right, maybe probably less.
Right.
But they're
right.
probably not doing 100% of purchase
right.
and repair, and so
right.
it's.
Right.
I just think people see those numbers, and they hang on every single point within that interest.
Right.
Number,
right?
And it really just 30 years, absolutely that adds up, right?
Yeah,
you get the lowest,
but you know, I always tell, this is what I tell my people, man. If the deal is right, these little points aren't even anything to worry about. If the deal is right.
Now, I know you didn't set out to qualify for the loyalty program at Longhorn.
Right.
It's not like you woke up one day and like, that's what I want to do. But our loyalty program rewards our borrowers who have paid off 3 or more deals with us. So,
gotcha.
I mean, that makes it even sweeter, right? I mean, the interest drops 2 points from 12.99 to 10.99.
Right.
Points drop from 2.99 to 1.99, and I guess that helps the margins just a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then from I guess just the mechanics of orchestrating a deal. You were talking about your team,
mm-hmm.
right? What was something you learned along the way in building the team that you would share with a new investor who's trying to build his or her team?
Yeah, I would. A few things I would say is, as far as like the team, as far as contractors, you got to watch them. You got to watch contractors. If somebody's asking for a bunch of money up front, it's always a red flag. You know, as far as realtor, I mean, you got to have somebody that knows how to deal with wholesale deals. You can't have somebody that knows that's selling houses, $7 million homes, trying to get you a deal on this $100,000 beat up shack. You know, so you just have to have the right. You just have to have the right people around you. You know.
And this is where we can plug Deba, because she's great with that, right? Right. Having, I mean, whether it's you, we talk a lot about Juan and Sandra.
Juan and Sandra,
because they're such a great success story. But there's so many who are under the Deba umbrella who have benefited from her guidance and her expertise.
Yeah.
One of the things she always talks about, and you just mentioned it with the contractor, is. And sometimes for her mentee, she'll step in and play the bad guy. But
she will.
You know, she always advocates for being tough with them, right?
You have to. You have to.
What have you learned, or what would you share to someone about that?
I am very tough with my contractors. Like, my contractors know that if they're moving too slow, I'll tell them kick rocks, and I'll find somebody else to do it. Because you're messing my whole vibe up with everybody else, you know, and you have to be tough with them, because once they feel they can come in and take some money from you and take their time, and once they're your friend, it kind of switches things up, you know.
All right, so there are people out there who they hear of the Jimmys and the Juan and Sandras and like, wow, like they're doing this real estate investing thing and they're making money, and man, but it seems so daunting. I mean, they make it sound so easy, but can I do it? I don't know if I can do it. And what would you say to that person? So like just diving in.
So it's not easy. We make it look easy because we've dealt with the worst already. So now these homes we're dealing with, they're nothing. It's It's not easy as it looks. But it goes back to your crew and your realtor. If you can get the right deal and the right crew going, and it takes time. It takes time. I mean, our first deals were nightmares, but from dealing with those nightmares to now, nothing bothers us because we've dealt with the worst.
All right.
And it's possible. I mean, it is possible for you to get to using Longhorn, making money, buying homes. It is possible because I didn't think it was possible for me to have. I have 6 homes in the neighborhood I grew up in on the same block, And if you would have asked me 15 years ago, I never would have thought that I could do something like that,
You scaled your business to the point.
Yeah.
How do you handle the rentals once you have tenants in there? Do you have a property management company? Do you handle all that? Because a lot of people ask that. Well, the renting stuff sounds fun, but I don't have the time to oversee the properties.
So me and my wife, we handle everything. Our tenants are pretty easy, and we kind of pick and choose. Just because you have the deposit and your background check is good, we're not going to let you in the house. We kind of pick and choose because we run this, and we don't want any headaches. And our tenants right now, we have 14 going on 15 rentals right now, and all of our tenants are. We have no issues. But another thing that goes with that is that we remodel and we touch everything in the house before we rent it out to where there's no issues. There'll never be we won't have major issues for maybe 15 years because we change everything from electrical to plumbing in the home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I want to go back to some of your deals.
Okay.
Tell me about a really successful deal. It could be the deal that maybe ended up with the best spread, but maybe a deal where it wasn't necessarily financially the very best, but like you had to overcome a challenge and you're proud of the way that deal played out.
Okay. So I think our best deal would be one that we had. It's in the Oak Cliff area, kind of close to Bishop Arts. And we got this home just from us posting on social media that we buy homes. And there was a lady going through a bunch of legal problems and going through a divorce and all that. And she just wanted to get rid of this home. And as far as a financial win, that was the best win because we end up buying the house for, I think, $90,000 and the house appraised for over $300,000.
Wow. Yeah. It's nice to get a nice little break like that.
Yeah.
Is there a property you can think of, a project you can think of where you went to sleep one night or maybe multiple nights thinking, gosh, how are we going to be able to get over this hump? And you were able to find a way?
Okay. We have 2, one financial and one just as far as working, a lot of work needed. The financial one was me being sentimental and I wanted to buy my neighbor's home. So on this home, after doing all the numbers and after the appraisals, we had to come up with almost $50,000 to close on this home, And so that was a big deal where I was like, man, do I really want to buy this home? But I had already promised them I would buy it. And these are my neighbors that I grew up with. So they've been knowing me over 30 years. And so I went with it and I bit the bullet and I had to pay the money. And So that was one financially I really didn't want to do, but I was too deep in it and I was sentimental. And that's why I tell people don't buy homes with your feelings.
Yeah.
And then as far as just a rough house we bought one. Our first home we ever bought. This was one we bought cash for, and in an area of Dallas that we don't buy, that we don't deal with anymore, close to the Fair Park, and it was just rough. It was just, I think the people broke in maybe 20 times. I replaced one single window maybe 7 times, and it was just a rough deal. Yeah.
So I don't know if that would qualify for this question, but what's, I'm asking about success stories. What's a deal where you really took some lumps and you were able to come out on the other side and be stronger for it, but it's not a deal you necessarily think back on with, happy memories?
So that would be one. That would be one of Wycliffe. It's a street called Wycliffe in Garland, and this house we had a bunch of humps, a bunch of issues. It was a basement home. It flooded on me on Christmas Day, a bunch of issues with it. But I mean, we overcame it, and we still own the property today. So,
what's something here recently? Like, I think there are things that beginners are going to learn, right? I think there are things that, all right, maybe I've done 2 or 3 deals, I'm going to learn. What's something recent that you've learned as someone who has been doing this for multiple years and has double-digit deals done, but maybe you experienced something recently for the first time, or thought of a strategy or philosophy for the first time?
So I just experienced something recently that I learned about homes that are on corners of major streets. I never knew anything about this until recently, and I think I texted you on this home, and it couldn't go through. So after you told me it couldn't go through, I text my insurance guy and my refi broker, and they all said the same thing, that corner houses on major streets just aren't.
And I could be wrong, because I know there was one you sent my way and we said no, and I think there was some commercial nearby. Was that this one?
No.
Okay.
No. So this was this one has commercial too, but the main problem was
corner major street. Yeah.
I think the other one that we didn't go with was it had like a scrapyard.
Okay.
Behind it. Yeah, it had a scrapyard behind it, and just little stuff like that I learned. Because I would never look around the house. I just see the deal and okay, let's do it, because it's a rental. And so now when somebody sends me a property, I Google Maps it and I look around it to see what's there.
What's next for you? Like, when you think about real estate investing, I know some people, I don't know if it's that they get bored or they just see opportunity and they go from single family and they want to do other things. Other people say, hey, why mess up a good thing? I'm just going to keep stacking and stacking and stacking. How do you think about it?
I think I'm like, why mess up a good thing? And I kind of like where I'm at. I watch a lot of videos and I talk to a lot of people in the multifamily, and I think it's a lot more headache with that. And I kind of like just how I like it. How we have it. I like my tenants, and I have no issues, and it's running very smooth.
Okay, so when you got involved, you obviously had the luxury of having Deba right by your side.
Right.
Not everyone. People can have a Deba, right?
Right.
She has her classes and her mentees, and we've talked about that a lot. But let's just say, talking about someone in one of the other states in which we operate. I think there are a lot of different ways you can figure stuff out, right? I know I've heard people say that YouTube videos is what educated them. Some people have said, hey, I partnered up with a realtor who had an understanding of the investment space and let them guide me. I've had people talk about, whether it's a mentor or someone who kind of fits that mold. But you obviously, the mentor route, the realtor route, I know you've experienced that. You said you watch videos, so I'm curious. Is that would you recommend that to someone? Are there things out there?
I wouldn't recommend the video. I would recommend someone to get a mentor, that really cares about them. And
how do you know that? How do you know if they really care about you?
I think after dealing with somebody and hearing from and seeing the people that came from under, if you go to one of Deba's groups and you see the people that are still around dealing with her and that are very successful now, you automatically know that this person isn't here just playing games and taking money, And once you get a good mentor that is very understanding and that cares about, because Deborah cares sometimes too much about people. We'll be at dinner sometimes and she's like, "Oh man, my mentee, their house just didn't go on their contract," and I'm like, Deborah, just.
Yeah,
that's how it is, But she cares a little bit, she cares a lot about her mentees. And you just got to get someone, references and look at the people who they've helped. And if you got 20 people that have been successful from this mentor and that are still around, willing to come to this stuff on Saturday morning, willing to come to all these events, then, that something is going the right way here,
There are a lot of lenders out there, and I don't know that, we feel like we're unique in that we'll do 100%, but
very unique.
But they're lenders. I mean, we have competitors. They have good programs. They do a good job. Otherwise, they wouldn't be competitors, right?
Right.
Why do you keep coming back to Longhorn?
I feel like Longhorn is real personal. It's real personal with me, and I feel like I can be real. I'm not dealing with some corporation. I'm dealing with some people that I can call and text. You know, I mean, I send emails sometimes in the middle of the night, like, "Hey, are we still closing tomorrow morning? Is everything sent?" You know, and I just feel like I feel at home here. You know, and I've actually reached out to other hard money companies when I was dealing with houses that on the corner before I knew that insurance and refi was a problem also, and I never got back from people. I never heard back from people. Like people were I was just a number. But the first time I contacted Jared in Longhorn, I mean, in 5 minutes, in 15 minutes, I was approved and I was ready to roll.
Do you remember, was it through Facebook or did Deba just like Deba, you go straight to email?
I was at my mom's house. I remember me and Deba were at our parents' house in Garland. I was talking to her about a deal that I was trying to buy, and she was like, "How are you going to buy it?" And I was like, "Well, I was just going to write a check for it." And she was like, "Jimmy, I've been telling you, that is old man style. You need you need to text this guy Jared, and he's going to get you on with Longhorn, and you will never look back." And yeah, you know, and that was it.
I just remember the first time Deba reached out to me was on Facebook, and it's her like full name, right? It's not, it wasn't. And I'm like, Deba, how am I gonna have to? I'm gonna have to like email this person. I gotta like memorize this name, and then thankfully it was like, no, you just call me Deba.
Yeah,
it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
All right, so you own a car dealership.
Yeah.
What is your favorite car of all time?
So I'm a big G-Wagon person. I love G-Wagons. But as far as favorite car, I would have to go with the Lamborghini Urus.
Okay.
As far as like favorite car that I would love to have, but as far as everyday driving cars, I would definitely Mercedes. We're big Mercedes fans at my house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Color?
It
just depends, or
it just depends. Yeah. It just depends.
What car does your wife want for Christmas?
She actually wants a 2024 GLE Mercedes. That's what she wants.
Okay. We'll see if that one fits under the tree or not.
Yeah, we'll see if that fits.
Yeah. Jimmy, thank you so much for taking time, and thank you. I mean, I've shared this with you before, but you said some kind things, but it's the feeling's mutual, and it is so enjoyable to work with people like yourself who are kind, genuine people who are ambitious and are models for how you've gone about things in the real estate world. But I mean, for me, the not dreading sitting across the table, enjoying that, and when we go to events together and see the enjoyment of interacting with people, and I think that's what I couldn't do this if our borrowers were loan 6938247, right? It's just that to me is not.
For sure.
So thank you for allowing us to be a part of your team, and thanks for coming here today.
For sure. Thank you, man. And I mean, we feel the same. We feel the same. And that's coming from me. That's Juan and Sandra. We are very good friends. That's my sister, Deba. I mean, we all, people offer us stuff every day. But, I mean, we feel home here. It's easy, and that's it.